What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a vintage collection market update. We're going to cover some TVC 1.0, and at the request of subscribers, I've also included a few punched examples. A lot of subscribers say, "Hey, look, punch versus unpunched." Some of us like to collect the unpunched in order to save some money. So I did include a few of those. I included a few graded examples, and most importantly, I wanted to focus on what some of the recent releases are reselling for on eBay as they hit people's hands. I'm not talking about pre-orders. I'm talking about in hand. What are some of those prices like? You'll have to excuse my nose. It's dripping like crazy. I just got done running 11.4 miles in exactly 90 minutes. And instead of showering like a normal human being, I decided to make this video for you guys. That's how dedicated I am to the channel. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I think the premise of my video today, and what I've been hinting at in a lot of the vintage collection market updates, we've had so many new releases that are hitting store shelves and a lot of pre-orders also, that is for stuff that's not coming out till next year. We had the Bo-Katan wave. We had the IG-11 Lando wave. We've got the Clone Wars animated series. We got the Target's Droids exclusives. We got those box deluxe figures. Fennec Shan just came out today. It's just crazy how between pre-orders and items that are now actually hitting store shelves, how many items there are out there. And my premise is that we're seeing a real slowdown, a very noticeable slowdown in TVC 1.0 prices, graded or ungraded. I'm going to show you both here. And it's been happening for about a month now, if not more, that some of the prices have really slowed down. Part of that might be that collectors are saying, well, they're re-releasing everything these days. They're re-releasing Ahsoka, they're re-releasing Mace Windu, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and so why should I pay up for these TVC 1.0 figures when eventually they're going to get around to reissuing them anyway? So that's part of the argument, I think. The other argument is that collectors, they're broke right now. I'm broke because I'm making all these pre-orders for items. And a lot of those pre-orders are actually hitting earlier than expected. We thought that the Target Droids exclusives card backs were going to be coming out in February. Well, they charged my credit card for all of them, and here it is in December. So I think a lot of that is also affecting TVC 1.0 resale prices. So that's the premise of this video. But let's take a look at some of the recent sales, and then towards the end, we're going to look at resale prices on eBay for recent releases. Bo-Katan, Lobot, all the animated Clone Wars, those are hitting eBay as well already. But anyway, let's start first with TVC 1.0 figures. This was a beautiful unpunched Vc100 Shock Trooper. This is the US card back. I've got a punched example at CAS, courtesy of Keith Guppy. It was a wonderful Canadian card back that he sent me, so thank you again, Keith, for that. But this was a beautiful unpunched example. Now, down in the UPC code on the back, you can see a little bit of wear there. I don't know what's going on there. It could be sticker residue or something, but there was a little bit of wear there. It could be litho tear, but otherwise it was a very clean example, and that sold for 90 bucks. 90 bucks and 80 euros. So if you're in the UK and this one came up, especially because it's a US card in the UK, man, that was a steal, because that your shipping was going to be a lot less than 36 euros or $40 for me. So somebody got a great deal, in my opinion, on an 85-ish grade unpunched Shock Trooper. I mean, that's a fantastic deal, 90 bucks. Now, this one was a shocker too. This was at auction. This was a VC35 Mace Windu, obviously the first issue. We haven't seen the second issue come out yet, but as we've talked about with Ahsoka and how her price has dropped like a rock, Mace Windu apparently is doing the same thing. It was punched, but it looked to be in pretty good shape overall. It had like one little scratch there on the front, it looks like. But for 46 bucks, I mean, we're talking like earlier this year, this unpunched was going for $300 plus, folks. $320. I saw several that sold at $300 to $325. Now, this was punched, and it did have some wear. You can see some corner wear up there, and it had a scratch on the front, so it wasn't perfect, but let's call that 80-ish grade condition. And as I mentioned, some subscribers have requested that I cover maybe not perfect ultra mint grade quality examples, but to get that for $47 plus 10 bucks shipping, whereas this figure, super mint, 6 months ago was selling for $325. You know, this is another example. I think the market's correcting a little bit. VC05, this was a C8, advertised as C8 condition. It looked like it had a little wave on the card. I'm not sure how C8 it was, but had some creasing down there at the bottom. But that one still sold for $104. So this one, I think, flies against the premise of the video that prices, you know, are coming down. But I think, too, you have to factor in a collector's mindset of which figures are likely to get re-released. It's probably like the Jango Fetts of the world or the General Grievouses of the world, right? How likely is VC05 the AT-AT commander, especially now that we've already passed the anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back? It's probably not very likely we're going to get this one reissued, right? So I could see something like this holding its value. And as I mentioned in my last video, the expanded universe card backs, I think those will hold their value because they're not going to, if they do come out with those figures again, they're not going to be on expanded universe card backs. So I think part of that might be what's going on. It might just be overthinking it, but I do think that as those of you who are out there who are filling in your collection holes, and if you're okay with reissues and you don't have to have the original issue card backs, give some thought to that. Give some thought as to what you think Hasbro might do. Because VC05, 99.9% likely, they're not going to re-release this figure, right? It's just very, very unlikely. So I could see something like this holding its value, right? So, you know, probably one to keep an eye. If you don't have it and you want it, then you keep an eye out for it. Look for an example that you're willing to pay for it and go from there. But if it's some character like, you know, for example, Jango Fett, they're probably going to re-release Jango Fett, and you don't want to pay $200 for them, then wait, you know. So I think that's part of what's driving the market. One that will probably never be affected by the reissue craze, obviously, is Boba Fett. This is the original issue, VC09, and it was the U.S. card, I believe. Yeah, U.S. card. That one still sold for $143.95. That one was a punched example too, but it looked to be in pretty good shape. That price seems a little high to me. I mean, I think you can probably get it for a little bit less than that, but anyway, that's the original issue Boba. It looked to be in nice shape overall. And $143.95 was the sales price on that one. So on the other end of the spectrum, I think this is a good example of one that's come down a little bit as well. Why, I don't know, but you know, this one looked to be a very, very clean, unpunched example of the mail-away rocket-firing Fett. Great shape overall. I would say 85 plus condition. And that one still sold for only $155 at auction on 59 bids. Now it did sell yesterday, which is Monday at 11 a.m. So Monday at 11 a.m. people were back at work. You know, I'm not sure how focused they were on bidding on this, but $155 is pretty cheap, I think. You know, usually $175 to $200 for a near mint plus example of this one is the going rate. So somebody got a pretty good deal on that one. A number of different Darth Vader vintage collection items sold. We're going to go least expensive to most expensive. None of them were particularly expensive, but this was the VC08 Empire Strikes Back regular card back. There's obviously the foil one as well, but this one was punched as well. And it still sold for $120, which I thought was a little high. You know, that seemed a little high to me for a punched example. This one's not that hard to find unpunched. I've got that one unpunched that I picked up, and I paid, it was already graded, uncirculated 9.0, and I paid less than this price. It was already graded. So I think this one was kind of an overpay, in my opinion. But that being said, one that we've talked about in the past, VC115, Darth Vader, the Emperor's Wrath, with, you know, his electrocution all over him. I mean, this is one that was $250 to $300. It has since come way down, and we've covered that, and we've covered that in other videos. But this one was a very nice unpunched example, and that sold for $150, $250. That's almost half price versus where it was 6 months ago. So somebody got a great deal on that one. Here was another example. This one sold for almost the exact same price, $152.65. It also appeared to be in excellent condition. So that seems to be the going rate right now for the U.S. card of VC115, Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath. So look to try and pay about $150 to $160 max for that one for an unpunched example. Now this one was a really nice one. That I wish I'd seen it. I probably would have bid on it. But this one was the Canadian version of VC115. I didn't see it. I wish I had. But that one sold with 30 bids. $177 took that one home plus shipping. But for the Canadian card bag, I think that was a pretty good deal for what it was. Unpunched, really good shape. So that gives you a price range for both the US and the Canadian card backs. And again, going back to my premise in the video, that people maybe their wallets are just worn out between holiday shopping for their family and kids to the pre-orders they've had to do for a lot of these store exclusives, to a lot of these a lot of the pre-orders hitting sooner than expected, right? I think this supports that argument. I mean, this one was an uncirculated 90, beautiful case, mail order exclusive Boba Fett prototype, straight 90s for the subgrades. It was all, you know, not on the modern tier, but on the standard scoring tiers. And that one sold for 117 bucks plus 20 bucks shipping. So let's call it 137. I mean, that is a fantastic deal for a U90 Boba Fett prototype. And again, folks, I've been kind of busy with work and I didn't even see this one. I certainly would have bid on that. That's a fantastic deal. Again, another figure that we've covered at length is Vc100 Starkiller. Very regularly, it was $250. That was always kind of the number in my mind. It was 250 bucks for a Vc100 Starkiller these days. This one has come back down, right? So $50 off of 250. That is a 20% decline in prices for Vc100. This one looked to be in excellent condition, unpunched, really, really nice shape. And that one sold only on one bid, 175 bucks plus 8 bucks shipping. So Starkiller's come back down too. And this is one that, in my opinion, I would buy. I don't see Starkiller most likely will get re-released. There's been enough clamor from collectors. They want him. But if he gets re-released, it'll certainly be on the Gaming Greats card, as we've discussed, for the Force Unleashed or the Force Unleashed 2. But this Expanded Universe card, I don't think will ever get re-released. And maybe collectors don't care. They don't care what kind of card back it's on. But they know that Starkiller's coming at some point soon, I would think. Probably in Wave 2 of a Gaming Greats line for next year is my guess. So they just don't care whether it's on Expanded Universe or not. Me personally, I would buy this one. I think this is a good buy. I'm looking for this one in the Canadian card. This is the one I want to get on the Canadian card. That's just an awesome card back. Now let's dig into resale prices for recent releases. We've talked about this one. Was it Vc204? I'm going on memory. Yeah, Vc204 Antok Merrick. Again, one thing I want to caution folks on, and I talked to Boss Bounty about this, a lot of unscrupulous eBay sellers, they know about this factory issue, this factory packing issue where you have this scrape in the upper left-hand corner under the 4 Plus or on the 4 Plus. It's from the packing, right? Antok Merrick getting packed inside the Target exclusive blue X-Wing, and it's causing these scrapes not only there at the 4 Plus, but also sometimes on the right-hand side of the hanger tab. And Boss Bounty found one where the seller very clearly manipulated the photos and blacked out the scrapes to hide that. So be very careful who you buy from, because it may look 100% clean, and then when you get it, it's not. And mine was that way. It looked clean in the photos. The seller wasn't doing any funny business because he showed a lot of different angles. I just, you know, for whatever reason, I guess I didn't see it, or he did a good job of hiding the light in the light. But anyway, I just would caution you about Vc204 because this factory scrape issue is on a lot of cards. And anyway, going back to what resale prices are doing for it, this one sold for 75 bucks. That seems to be about the going rate now, is 75 bucks plus shipping for Antok Merrick. It seems to have settled out at that price point. So if you're still looking for Antok Merrick and you don't want to buy the whole X-Wing, and that's usually 120 to 150 right now, look to pay about 75 to 80 bucks for Antok Merrick Vc204. All right, now this is one I covered here recently. I just got this one in. I've seen a lot of, and I'm sorry to a lot of you viewers who have gotten your droid, your Target exclusive droids card back C-3POs. A lot of folks have contacted me and said that theirs were packed in way too small of a box and it was all beat up, or they had this gigantic, I'm talking a massive sticker all across the front of the card back and they're going to have to try and take it off. So I'm sorry to hear that for you folks. I hope that you're able to get a clean one. Both of mine arrived very clean, as I showed you, and the resale prices are already about double, the suggested retail price. They're going for $35 with shipping. I've seen a number of these sell at this price point. So that's, if you don't want to deal with Target and you're hoping to get a really clean one, if you want a clean one, this one looked pretty clean to me. It had one little minor wear down there in the corner, but 35 bucks seems to be a going rate for C-3PO. I haven't seen much in the way of resales yet for actually in-hand R2s or Bobas, because those are still on their way from Target. But my credit card got charged for both of those, so I would imagine those are going to be coming, to collectors' doorsteps any day now. Lobot is one that's already starting to hit retail. I was surprised to see this, but I pre-ordered mine from Big Bad Toy Store, but this looked to be in really clean condition. Already, this one's selling for $35 at retail. So let's call that, what, 2.5 times retail already for Lobot. And look how beautiful that figure is. I mean, the head sculpt is maybe a little off, but I'm not going to complain. That is an awfully pretty figure. So anyway, they are hitting retail, they are hitting eBay. Vc223 for Lobot. Katan is also already reselling on eBay. This one obviously is going for a little bit more. Vc226. It looks like an absolutely gorgeous figure. We've already seen the review from a number of YouTubers. But $38 seems to be the going rate for this one. I saw a number of them that have sold on eBay at this price point. So $38 if you're willing to pay a little bit of a premium and you're impatient, those are starting to resell on eBay. Bib Fortuna, we just saw the reviews from Only One Kenobi and Boss Bounty. This is just an amazing figure. Beautiful card back. The hands on this figure are incredible. I'm so excited. I've never been excited about an action figure's hands before, like I am with this one. Anyway, $38 is the going resale rate for Bib Fortuna already on eBay. And not surprisingly, Mithril, it's a pretty incredible figure. The likeness is uncanny. The card back's amazing. The colors, everything. That one's already reselling at $43. So that's about 3 times retail already for Mithril. So make sure to get that one if you're looking for them. Now, actually, the Clone Wars 50th anniversary, I believe they're Walmart exclusives. These are already hitting eBay as well. 2 of them have sold. This seller has 3 more available. I'm going to be patient and get mine from trusted resellers that I'm friends with. But Barris Alfie is already reselling right now at $39 plus $6 shipping. And so that is another data point there for if you're impatient. That's what they're selling for. It's about $45 or so after shipping costs for those Clone Wars figures. Those are definitely starting to hit eBay. Most of them are Canadian sellers because they're getting them up there. But here was a graded example that sold. It was lower grade. It was an 8.0, but this was the original release Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Phantom Menace card with the Darth Maul offer sticker. That one sold for $51 plus $12 shipping. I mean, that's a great deal for. I mean, I know it's an 8.0, but I mean, you're talking like a little over grading costs for that. That's a pretty darn good deal for that one. Here was another one that sold that looked pretty nice. This was a CAS graded straight 85s Celebration 5 exclusive Bounty Hunter Zuckuss, and it looked to be in pretty good condition overall. 85 straight 85s again. I mean, I try to get 90s for mine, but whatever. That's a pretty good deal. And that one was listed for $130 plus $8 shipping. Sold best offer accepted. I didn't bother looking up the actual sales price. I apologize. Here's another one I thought looked pretty nice. This one is the Walmart. This one also had the Hong Kong distribution sticker on the back, so that was really nice. One of them sold for $140 plus $15 shipping. There are still some available. He still has 2. No, I'm sorry. He's got 2 that sold. 1 still available. But anyways, it does have that Hong Kong distribution sticker on the back. But $140 plus another $14 shipping took that one home. So for those of you looking for that one is available right now online. It's uncirculated 9.0 ATST driver. So another data point there for a recent release resale. And then here's Vc186, Boba Fett. This is the no chest sensors version, and this is how you label it, CAS, not no chest dent. AFA labels it no chest plate sensors, which is the way it should be labeled. This was an uncirculated 9.25. That one of them has sold. There's still 3 available. $160 plus another $9.30 shipping. So just some, just some other data points for some of these recent releases. And finally, I wanted to show this one because somebody actually asked me this and said, "Hey, is there a market for loose graded vintage collection figures?" And I was like, "I don't think so, not really." But I found this one, so I thought I'd just show this for whoever it was that asked me that. I forgot who it was now, but and you know, he's funny. He's like, that's like the last frontier of grading, right? It's getting these modern figures loose graded. But me personally, I don't think I'd do that. But this one looked really cool, though. This one was a General Grievous graded by Collector Archive Services 90 plus, and I like how they displayed that. It's got the cape on a cape stand, and then all the weapons and everything, all the lightsabers and so forth, all splayed out. It looked really nice. Don't get me wrong, but not something I would do because it's probably really expensive to grade it like this, but it looked really cool. But anyway, that one was listed for $250. Best offer accepted. So, you know, I didn't look up what it sold for, but I just thought whoever the subscriber was that asked me about that, I thought you'd get a kick out of seeing a loose graded vintage collection figure that sold fairly recently for best offer accepted at $250. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed looking at some recent sales for the vintage collection. It does seem like there's some price pressure for a lot of the original issue figures. And as I said, I think it's the environment where, you know, we're in the holidays. I think it's the fact that collectors' wallets are already pretty barren right now from all the pre-orders and all the pre-orders hitting stores and their credit cards getting charged. And finally, I think a lot of collectors are a little bit maybe burned out with the fact that a lot of these TVC 1.0 prices got so high, and then Hasbro turns around and says, oh, by the way, we're going to re-release Mace Windu. We're going to re-release Ahsoka. So I think those are all factors that are kind of intertwined and causing TVC 1.0 prices especially to really flatten out or decline. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.